Hello, Gemini soul. If you've been feeling that strange restlessness in the air, that pressure building quietly behind your chest like something is coming, you're not imagining it. From the 4th of August to 5th, the universe isn't just sending you another astrological event. This is something deeper, something older, a final spiritual checkpoint carved into your soul's timeline. This isn't a prediction or a warning, and now you stand at the doorway of something irreversible. Not because you're being tested for punishment, but because your next chapter cannot be built on versions of you that were never whole. So, no, this isn't about perfection. It's about readiness. It's about clarity. It's about choosing truth, even when it's uncomfortable. And most of all, it's about surrendering the noise so you can hear your own voice again. These 2 days, the 4th of August and 5th, they are sacred, quietly powerful, and they were made for you. And Gemini, if you've made it this far, if something inside you is still reading, still listening, then you're ready to hear the truth about what's coming. This test isn't vague. It's not symbolic or theoretical. It will show up in your life in 3 very specific, very real ways, and each one holds a key to your next level. If you're brave enough to pay attention, the first sign is what we call the mirrored message. It won't come with fireworks or fanfare. It'll come subtly, repeatedly, quietly, like a whisper that refuses to leave. Within a single 24-hour window, you'll hear, see, or feel the same phrase, number, or sentence 3 times. Maybe someone says something that hits you deep, and then later, you scroll past the exact same words online. Then it shows up in a song, lyric, or in a dream. That's not a coincidence. That's a direct reflection of your current soul state, a message from your higher self trying to break through the noise. It's not about decoding the words exactly. It's about what it triggers in your body, your memory, your truth. Pause it. Write it down. Ask yourself why it made you feel something. Because that's the doorway. The second sign will be louder, more jarring. It's called the collapse. This is where something you thought was stable suddenly isn't. A plan falls through. A relationship cracks open. Emotions you thought were buried come rushing in without warning. And while it may feel like everything is falling apart, what's really happening is that the universe is clearing what cannot come with you. This isn't punishment, it's freedom in disguise. You can't build a future from a foundation made of fear, denial, or performance. And you, Gemini, have always carried a little of all 3. But now, it's time to let go. The collapse isn't here to hurt you. It's here to set you free. And then when you're standing raw and wide open comes the final sign, the Gatekeeper. This is the one most people run from. It doesn't look like a person. It looks like a moment, a decision, a line in the sand where you feel terrified, trigger, and unsure if you can handle it. Maybe someone questions your worth right to your face. Maybe you're asked to show a version of yourself you've been hiding. Or maybe you're forced to choose between safety and truth, between the familiar and the real you. That moment, that's the Gatekeeper, and it won't wait for your confidence to arrive. You'll have to walk through while still trembling. But here's what no one tells you. On the other side of that fear isn't just relief. It's realignment. It's clarity. It's the return of power you forgot you had. These 3 signs are not random challenges. They are sacred tests, and if you recognize them as such, if you pause instead of panic, lean in instead of numb out, then everything changes. Not overnight, but permanently, because the moment you choose presence over avoidance, your future stops being delayed. And that version of you, the one you've always felt, was waiting. It finally gets to rise. And here's where it all comes together. Gemini, not in the signs, not even in the collapse or the triggering moment, but in what they reveal about you. Because underneath the cosmic language and spiritual metaphors, this has always been about one thing: wholeness. And no sign understands the ache for wholeness more than you. You were born into duality, light and shadow, intellect and emotion, logic and chaos. You've spent a lifetime moving between extremes, learning how to read the room, adapt, survive, entertain, soothe, and escape. But this test, this final checkpoint, is not asking you to perform, adjust, or choose one side over the other. The universe isn't punishing you by asking for this integration, it's inviting you into liberation. Because wholeness doesn't mean perfection. It means no longer abandoning any part of who you are. And yes, it will feel risky. Choosing truth often does. Because truth threatens the roles we've been rewarded for playing. It disrupts the dynamics that once felt safe. But what's the alternative? Keep performing, keep delaying your own arrival, keep pretending that the aching inside will resolve itself if you just wait a little longer. No. Gemini, this moment is different. Because the call this time isn't asking you to be strong. It's asking you to be honest, to stop reaching for certainty and start leaning into alignment, to stop delaying and start rising. You don't need more time. You need more truth. And when you choose it fully, without apology, you become something rare. You become real. And the life that's meant for the real you, it finally finds its way through. So how do you prepare for something this sacred, this personal, this irreversible? You don't wait passively. You don't scroll through it, hoping the answers land in your lap. You prepare with intention, with reverence, with a quiet kind of courage that says, I'm ready to meet myself on the other side of this. Start by creating space. For just 2 days, only 2, give yourself a fast from negativity. That means no complaining, no indulging in drama, no doom scrolling through toxic content that drains your spirit before the day even begins. Protect your frequency like it's sacred, because during these 48 hours, it is what you allow into your field will either cloud your clarity or sharpen it. And clarity is exactly what this moment is calling for. Each morning, light a white candle, not for ritual's sake, but to anchor your intention in the physical world. Let the flame remind you that even in uncertainty, something inside you still burns with quiet knowing. While the candle is lit, speak your truth into the day. Out loud, say, my truth is stronger than my fear. Repeat it like a promise. Not to the universe, but to yourself. Because fear will come knocking through memories, through doubts, through the temptation to shut down. And this mantra becomes your shield. It reminds you that truth isn't always comfortable, but it's always safe. And don't ignore the whispers. During this time, signs will come not just in obvious ways, but through dreams, random phrases, numbers that repeat, or emotions that seem to arrive from nowhere. Write them down. All of them, even if they feel strange or fragmented. This is how your higher self communicates, not in full sentences, but in patterns, feelings, synchronicities. Keep a journal close and let it become your personal map, a record of what your soul already knows, but your mind hasn't caught up to yet. Gemini, you don't have to be fearless. You just have to be present. Present enough to witness the shift as it unfolds. Present enough to stop running. Present enough to feel the difference between who you've been and who you're becoming. This preparation is not a task, it's a threshold. and how you cross it intentionally, softly, and awake will determine everything that comes next. And now, Gemini, you need to know the timing because this isn't just about what you feel. It's about when you feel it. The universe doesn't deliver tests at random. It speaks in patterns, in sacred numbers, in hours where the veil is thinnest. This is one of those times. Your final cosmic test begins precisely at 3:33 a.m. on the 4th of August and ends at 1:11 p.m. on the 5th of August. These numbers are not symbolic fluff. They are energetic codes, frequencies that hold ancient, meaning 333 for awakening, spiritual guidance, and divine alignment, and 1111 for portals, decisions, and the rewriting of timelines. Between those hours, the gate opens, and when it does, everything changes. During this 44-hour window, all three signs, the mirrored message, the collapse, and the gatekeeper will make themselves known. They won't always arrive in dramatic fashion. They might come quietly, through a moment of stillness, a conversation that shakes you, or a choice you weren't ready to make but suddenly must. Don't expect clarity to scream. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it simply lands in your chest and leaves a weight you can't ignore. The important thing is that you notice, that you stay attuned, that you treat every moment during this window as sacred, not with fear, but with reverence. What you do in these hours matters. What you choose, what you resist, what you allow to rise, these become the blueprint for the life you build after. You may be tempted to dismiss it all as coincidence, to chalk the signs up to your imagination or emotions, but don't. This window isn't a metaphor. It's real. And it's been written into your soul's contract long before you ever heard the word astrology. When the clock strikes 333, the portal opens, and the version of you who's been waiting behind glass finally gets her chance to step through. So, stay awake. Stay honest. Stay open. The signs are coming. The timeline is yours. And Gemini, if you choose to show up fully, if you meet the mirrored message with honesty, let the collapse do its clearing. And walk through the gatekeeper moment with your heart wide open, then what comes next will not be subtle. It will be undeniable. Because when you pass a soul-level test like this, the universe doesn't just pat you on the back. It rearranges everything around you to match the version of you that finally said yes. Suddenly, the money that once trickled in starts flowing without resistance through unexpected payments, aligned opportunities, or people who recognize your worth before you even speak. Relationships shift. Two, not just romantically, but energetically. The ones that were always half there quietly fall away. And the ones meant to meet the real you arrive without struggle, without performance. They come not because you chase them, but because you became someone worth finding. More than anything, you'll feel it internally first. A click, a calm, a knowing. You're no longer early, no longer late. You're right on time. Your energy no longer leaks into people and places that can't receive it. The lessons you used to repeat on loop, relationships that mirrored your unhealed wounds, dreams you kept shelving, those cycles begin to dissolve. You stop circling the same mountains. And in that stillness, in that clarity, something sacred unfolds. This is what a soul promotion feels like. Not louder, but truer. Not faster, but freer. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the fear, before the split, before you learn to abandon yourself to stay safe? If you pass this test, Gemini, you don't just move forward. You rise,